bringing you the latest news from Monterey Athletics. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. As I promised, we're in the Plainsman Fan Zone on this Monday night. I'm Randy Rosetta, 100.7 The Score. Chelsea Hunter, the Monterey girls coach, is to my far left. I'm going to have her introduce her two players. It's kind of, with Ari, it's a little bit like I said about Kevin Wagner. If anybody's paid attention, they know who Ari is. It's kind of hard to not know who she is. But I'm going to let you introduce your freshman that you brought with you.
Yes, today we have Emery Smith. She's a freshman who just recently got moved up to varsity, and she's a Evans Eagles kid, and she's doing great things for us. Coach
must have faith in her. You're going to throw her right into the media water here. I promise I'm harmless. So kind of an up and down week for you guys last week. We'll pull the scab off first right away. Lost to Coronado on the last second shot. I want to be careful, maybe with a little controversy at the end. Would that be fair to say?
That's fair.
Okay. But you guys impressed me because you bounced back and played really well at a really tough tournament. So that's your first time kind of dealing with that with these girls. So let me get Ari to talk about this first. You guys lost a game or two the last couple of years,
yes,
and always had to come back. This team doing it, what's that tell you about this group already that encourages you?
It just tells me that we have the dedication to like always overcome like any adversity that we have, and just showing like all the things that we did in that game, making it better and doing like better things, and just growing as a team and like learning each other's like difficulties, and just like putting that to the test, and just making sure that we do like the right things in the next game and just growing.
That's what you want to hear as a coach. Who all did you went to the Mansfield? I know I saw the name has a long-winded name. A tournament in Mansfield. Who all did you play when you were there, Chelsea?
Oh man, pulling out my memory. Let's see. We had Mesquite Horn. We finished.
I'm sorry, it was in Mesquite, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mesquite. Yes. So we played Mesquite Horn. I may have to pull out my notes on this.
Actually, I may still have it on my phone.
C.E. King in the championship. Before that, I may have to look it up. Sorry.
But it was, the reason I asked, because it was rapid fire. You got there, it's like a lot of the tournaments at this time of year. With this team, with having especially the two older girls who have been through it, how good was that for them to bounce back the way they did with just go play? We know what we need to do, go play. It was just one after the other.
It was huge, honestly. In that quick turnaround, we had 2 games in the first day, and I mean, it was huge for us. One of the biggest things we watched was film and things that we needed to adjust a little bit, like Ari said. And the girls, I mean, they bounced back, as you said. There was a lot of things that we did well, moving the ball, cuts, just all the adjustments that we didn't do in Coronado. We just really turned it on, and that was huge to see. How quickly they did it. It was right away instead of waiting several games and having to have several reminders. We hit the film room and we learned and we made the adjustments, and that's huge. That says a lot about the team.
All right, Emery, you ready?
Yes.
There we go. So you joined the team for the Coronado varsity.
Yes.
For Coronado. So that was your first experience.
Yes, it was.
Probably wasn't very much fun that night. But as a young player, watching your older teammates do that bounce back and not let that kind of spoil their week, what's that teach you as a 14-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
It just taught me, like, it's okay to, like, miss a couple of shots. Like, I can keep shooting. And, like, they really, like, encouraged me to, like, keep going. And I actually did have fun that night against Coronado.
Sub-varsity teams don't go to tournaments on the road like that, right?
Correct.
So that was your first experience with that? What was that like? Like Coach was talking about, just one game after another, where you don't sit down and game plan, you just go and play.
I had a lot of fun during the tournament. It was not much sleep. We just had lots of games after one another, but we had fun the whole time.
I'm not going to ask you why there was no sleep, because was there a teammate snoring or something?
No, we just woke up early.
See, it's really easy when you're young. You start to get, like, I'm way older than y'all. I can understand that, though. So I know you still have Caprock ahead, but this week is when you kind of start the grind, right? 2 district games, and you kind of get into that. Why do you think this team is ready for that now? I'm trying to put a positive spin on this, especially after losing that first one, because now they kind of understand every game you got to be locked in.
100%. You know, Coronado just showed us, especially with us being young, not necessarily like in age, but young in our experience, varsity experience, kind of showed us that you have to really be ready for every game, that at any moment, you know, a team is going to be they're going to step up and give you their best shot. And so that showed us early, and that's huge for us.
Because it just counts one. That's the thing. You got a bunch more of those left.
Correct.
Coming up on a break, we're going to talk more about the Lady Plainsmen and what's coming up on the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Monterey athletics. You're listening to the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the Lady Plainsman Fan Zone on a Monday night. We're talking to Chelsea Hunter, R.A. Johnson, and Emery Smith about the Monterey girls basketball team. Had a good week last week when you step back and look at it. You don't like to lose a district game, but before we went to break, it counts one. You have a lot of them coming up, including this week. You go to Plainview, which is a place that Chelsea knows a little bit about, and you come home against Caprock. Plainview last year, you guys beat them 3 times? Twice?
3.
Was it one in the playoffs?
Yes, one was in the playoffs.
That's what I thought. They gave you some trouble. I know there was one of those games. They gave you some trouble. They hit some shots, and you kind of had to adjust
just bring it down a little bit.
And I know they've got some players back. Going up there, I know from experience because I'm married to a Plainview girl, that can be a tricky place to play. How eager are you now to see what your team does in your next district game after coming back the way you guys did last week?
I would just say very eager. Just us coming off the tournament and doing so well, just seeing how we can move all that energy into the next playoff game for us. So just keeping that same intensity and just picking up our pace and just, doing better than what we did in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you're a senior. What did you learn about Coach last week that you maybe didn't know? Because that's tough as a first-year coach to lose a game like that with some controversy. What'd you learn about her that kind of makes you proud that you're playing for her?
And just the heart that she has for the team, and just that she cares for us so much, and she's willing to do anything for us to win, and just giving us all the access and the necessities to win.
What about you, Emery? What'd you learn about playing on varsity last week that maybe you didn't know because you hadn't been there before?
Yes, I learned that with playing varsity, they're a little bit stronger, taller, faster. But with Coach Hunter, I learned that she really wants us. She pushes us really hard to just win. She has a really big heart.
Something that's cool for you guys, and not Coach Snyder loved you guys, loved Monterey because she was there for so long, but Coach loves that red and blue because she grew up with it. When's the last time we talked? Did you guys started the season yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're 15 games in. What's it been like for you coaching? It sounds like real games at Monterey, not scrimmages, but being with these girls and seeing what it's like for them to play for the team the program you played for.
A lot of it is I just try and keep the perspective of when I did play, just so that I can relate to them a little bit more. But it's so much fun, being back home on the home court, having the community and all the fans and family involved. It's a good environment, and it just means so much to me. So
is it weird to walk into Coach Snyder's office sometimes?
Well, we actually painted it.
Okay.
So it wouldn't look the same.
Was that intentional?
It was.
And I don't blame you whatsoever, because it's one thing if you just take over for somebody, let's do. But that's somebody that's pretty important to you. Mm-hmm. And I thought about this. Has she been to any games yet? Have you guys seen her?
I think she's saving that.
All right. She's going to have to.
A little surprise.
Well, and she's going to have to put a disguise on or something, because she can't hide either. When you're 6'4" and just that distinguished looking lady that she is, she's going to have to maybe sit up in the corner a little bit. So you've had influence. She's an influence, obviously. I talked to one of your influences today. Went out and talked to Jason Cooper. When you go through a tough loss, do you think about what they've told you as a player or as a head coach, or do you talk to them, or how did you kind of process it?
Process my feelings first.
Yep.
Watch a lot of film, and of course, I look back to those hard games when I was a player and some of the things and that my former coaches taught me, and then also reach out to a lot of mentors just to help me process and navigate on how to approach it and, how to navigate my next steps with the team.
And due credit, Coronado's a better team, I think, than they have been the last few years. Now, they've lost some players, but Katie's she's a new coach too. You're coaching against her for the first time. Ari, when you saw Coronado the other day, you saw them in the summer a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're a better team. They're a little bit different. They do things a little bit differently. So, you guys lost the game, but they had to win it too. Mm-hmm. So, what did you learn about what you guys have to do now to be ready for them the next time, and maybe a third or fourth time, depending on how Caprock shakes out and all that?
I would just say, like Coach Hunter just said, watching film and just taking our past mistakes and trying to make those better, and just not letting the same things happen last game happen in the new upcoming game.
Because one game's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You all figured that out last year, because there was a couple games that you was it last year when you got thumped one time pretty good that I can remember on one of those tournament games?
Yeah. We were in Allen, and I got knocked out like pretty good, and I was just had to lay there for a minute.
Yep, and turned out okay last year. I would say that's fair to say. Chelsea, when you watch these girls go through how they got, you kind of talked about it, just coming back because you played Tuesday night and had to play again Thursday, right? You had to get on a bus the next day, go play Thursday. Was there any practice time in between?
There was a little bit, mostly just film, and one of the biggest things I'm big on is allowing them to kind of coach themselves and see themselves. So the next day, film was led by them, and they got to talk through it and take some accountability and help each other on how they can improve.
Emery, did you get up there and talk?
Not really.
No, they'll save that for later when you get a little bit more experience. It's always, how much film had you had to watch as a basketball player until you got to the varsity level?
We kind of watched a lot of film, just like watching over our past games and seeing what we need to do better.
So at Evans?
Yes.
So you were watching film at Evans?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Well, I'm going to imagine Coach Hunter's pretty happy that you got a coach that's getting them ready, because if not, they get there and their eyes are going to be big and they're not going to be sure. Also liked that Coach Hunter didn't let it drag her down, because I loved your post on Facebook about when Jason was coaching and Jenna was coaching and Jonathan was playing. You said, those are my people loving what they want to do. Well, you were loving you were doing what you want to love as well. And I think it's cool that you've got that ability to bounce back, because what'd you tell me, 27?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're too old to be letting one game bother you. At Plainview Tuesday night, at home against Caprock, and this is where Monterey has settled in the last couple of years and really dominated, so I kind of have a feeling they're going to find a groove here pretty quick. Thank you all for coming in. We'll see you soon. We'll talk more about the Lady Plainsmen as the season goes on. Come back after this break, and we'll talk to Memorial about the Panthers boys program on the High School Fan Zone.